Over the past week, we've already learned more about Hytale than we have learned in the past 7 years, and it's a lot. From actual combat gameplay to new mobs, we've seen so much. Which brings me to one of my favorite things in any survival sandbox game, the variety of creatures that can be encountered and interacted with in-game. So I thought it'd be fun to go zone by zone, showing all the mobs that we've either been shown or been alluded to in the game of Hytale. No better place to start than in Zone 1. Here you'll find lots of woodland animals and swamp creatures, from deer to bears, spiders, bunnies and foxes. We've even seen squirrels, boar, frogs, and even a glimpse of some sort of weird bullfrog monster thing. Geckos. You've seen mice. We've even seen clips of mice interacting with dropped cheese on the ground. Cows, and apparently cows poop, and you can use their poop as fertilizer. And we've seen in the list of mobs even undead cows. There's also chickens, sheep. We actually saw a glimpse of a sheep in the gameplay video. Dogs, cats, several different types of birds, from sparrows to ducks to crows, owls, pigeons. And in the list of mobs, we also see listed a bluebird and a green finch. Also, the quebecs make their home in this zone, starting off as seedlings, and then they turn into adult quebecs, and then elders, which are known as tree singers. There's also fen stalkers that can be found in swamps. Shorks, which have their own camps in this zone. They have their own pet wolves. There's the hunter, sentry, warrior, shaman, and chieftain. There's also skeletons, like the archer, mage, and soldier. Several different types of zombies. You've got the aberrant zombie that we saw Simon tease earlier this week. And there you can see in the list of mobs, we also have small and large versions of that. And there's also listed next to that as well, sand, frost, and burnt zombie types for zones 2, 3, and 4. We see an old image here depicting what seems to be some sort of earth elemental creature, as well as an earth golem there in the background. We also see an odd glowing ghostly figure, which I can only assume to be a wraith from the list of mobs that Simon showed in the gameplay video. And we also see there next to wraith, there's a type of mob called a lantern wraith. Moving on to the deserts of Zone 2, we've got meerkats, warthogs, saber-toothed tigers that can hunt down antelope, flamingos. Got crocodiles from an old Twitter post. In the background of this video, you can actually pick out some goats. I thought originally these were more antelope, but if you look closer, it actually seems like they're goats. Rattlesnakes. From a new image posted, we've got tortoise, horse, camels, armadillos, hawks, hyenas, an interesting little cactus creature known as a cacti, and these seem to stalk you, but freeze when you look at them. We have Zone 2 skeletons. We've got also in this zone the mage, soldier, and archer skeletons. Maybe the Zone 2 skeletons are a little tougher to deal with. We also have a bug species of creatures known as scarix, and these have several different types, starting out as a louse, or a little grub larval form. And then you've got fighters, which are the normal type you'll encounter. Defenders, which seem to kind of be a more tanky build. Seekers, which I believe will probably be the flying type. And then the Brood Mother, which I believe will probably be maybe a boss or something that you'd fight later in the game. You've got Pharens, which are a fox-like NPC species. They start off as cubs, and we see in the mob list that there are also civilian Pharens, burrowers, long-tooth and sharp-tooth, as well as a Pharen type called Windwalker. Moving on to the wintry area of Zone 3, we've got rams, woodpeckers, moose, wintry owls, turkey, penguins, polar bears, bison, yeti. It seems like the yeti might be some sort of boss type mob. And here's where you can see rams are rideable. There's also more skeletons in this zone. Here you can see an ice skeleton. There's also an ice elemental in the background of this image. You've got the ice dragon that we've seen lots of times from an old image we've seen, as well as snow wolves. Here this snow wolf is fighting one of the outlanders, which have several different types. You've got cultists, rangers, the chief outlander, don't know specifically what they'll be called, and then also this big boss guy known as a colossus. And earlier this week, Simon also showed us a glimpse at another boss type creature in Zone 3 known as a Shadow Knight. In Zone 4, we haven't seen a whole lot from Zone 4, but what we have seen are more skeletons. The Zone 4 skeletons seem to be much more armored. Ember Wolf, which is like a lava hound, pretty scary looking dude. This weird gunslinger skeleton guy who actually has a musket or some sort of rifle. In the caves of Zone 4, you've got Triceratops, T-Rexes, Raptors. In the mob list, we can see an Archaeopteryx, which is a kind of small raptor bird-like creature, as well as the NPC faction known as the Slothians. And that's all of our zones, but to cover some other mobs we've seen that I couldn't quite fit into a known zone just yet, looking into what we've seen in the caves, you've got rats, goblins, which also seem to have a bomber variant, and the chief, cave spiders, magma snails, undead chickens, lava monsters, bats, and ice bats. Going underwater, which Simon has already mentioned, may not be ready by early access and is very unfinished, so some of this stuff we may not see till later. But you've got several different types of fish, from pufferfish to blue tangs to clownfish, and several types of angelfish that we see. You also have crabs, what looks like a pike, a shark, maybe a great white shark, salmon, a moray eel, lobsters, catfish, some generic blue-looking fish, a man-of-war jellyfish, piranha, hammerhead sharks, and then in the mob list we also see an electric eel. There's also the enemy faction known as the Void that we see a lot through Simon's gameplay footage. Didn't really quite have a zone to put it in because we see it in several different instances in several different zones. So this may just be a mob type that spawns at night or something like that. You've got the Void Eye, Void Crawlers, and the Void Spawn. And then a few miscellaneous mobs that I couldn't quite fit into any category because we don't know much about them yet. We saw way early on the Void Golem, Also in the gameplay video, you see several instances of these little grub creatures. There's also Mosshorn, that I'm not sure if they're going to be in the swamps of Zone 1, or if that's a swamp area that we find later in a different zone. Also in the mob list, we see listed a fire dragon. In the gameplay video, we see this clip of what appears to be some sort of corrupted Quebec. We also saw a glimpse of this in an early Halloween post on their Twitter, way in the background. There's also the fawn, which we've been hinted at. If you go on Quebec Corner's Twitter, he posted a short video of one off in the distance that you can't quite make out. But we've got images of concept art of this faction. And then at the very end of the initial trailer, we saw what appears to be some sort of void dragon. That's all the creatures and mobs we have seen so far in Hytale. If I missed one, let me know. Let me know something you'd like to see added to Hytale, whether it's a new mob, or creature, or enemy faction. Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, if you want to see more videos just like this one.